Good morning. Here to tell a little bit about myself for this. Name is Mark Davis. I teach at Dorman Freshman Campus in Spartanburg, South Carolina. I have been here for this going on my fourth year now. Um, First school I taught at, so I've also been teaching for 3 years, going on fourth year. Um, I started in education because I love science. And I look at the world around us, and so many people don't understand necessarily what science is. Like, they understand, oh, people do research, people look at all that stuff, but they don't know how impactful it is in everyday life. There's so miscommunication and misunderstanding around the sciences, especially when you look at climate change, how medicine works, how living things cooperate in an ecosystem. There's so much that is just the general populace does not get. And so I'm trying to instill a love of science in my students and help them to think critically and understand that these things are important, and that we've got to look at everything when we consider the world around us. If I could have any other job, I would do something with conservation. When I was a kid, I really wanted to be a marine biologist, and I would still love to do that. The big difficulty with that is it's so hard to get a job in that field, that I took a step back, thought about my love of science, and shifted towards education as another way to help the planet in whatever small way I can. I also would happily jump on the education department at a like aquarium or zoo or conservation center, rehabilitation center, something like that. I'd do that in a heartbeat as well if I decided that teaching was no longer my path. Luckily, that is not right now, so I'm still happy with teaching. Kids different from 30 years ago. Well, I'm 26, so I don't know necessarily about 30 years ago, but for sure from when I was in high school 10 years ago, there's less. I feel like students now have a shorter attention span. It's harder to keep them engaged for longer periods of time. And I'm not meaning like for the full 90 minutes of a class. I mean like 15, 20 minutes, keeping them on with whatever we're doing. Even if it's something more engaging, something more fun, it's harder to keep them with that. How is teaching different than 30 years ago? Again, I don't know about 30 years, but definitely since I was in high school 10 years ago, there's a lot more integration with technology. I use technology and videos and whatnot to get information across to my students a lot. Not like every single day, but like at least once a unit, I find a real good video that helps drive something home, typically real short, 5 to 10 minutes, maybe, not anything real longer than that. Because sometimes I am not the best person to tell something. Like, I will bend over backwards trying to find new ways to explain something. But there's a couple real good sites. Kurzgesagt is one. Amoeba Sisters is another that I use. That they already have those videos, and they have given them, like they have made them, and the students understand them, receive them, and they can watch them over and over. So I definitely implement that a lot more than my teachers did when I was in high school. Of course, when I was in high school, it was all relatively new back then, but still. What would you tell someone right now that's thinking about becoming a teacher? It's rough in education right now. It's not impossible, and we'll get over these hurdles, but it's coming out of COVID right now. Students are used to not doing as much. Teachers are having to get back in the swing of helping students one-on-one directly when we couldn't do that a year and a half ago. So be mindful of that. It's not impossible. There's always new challenges every single year. It just feels like this year and last year have been a little bit more challenging, but it'll be okay. We'll pull through. Lastly, what is one thing you would change to help kids learn better? I would try and get parents more into their kids' education. It's real hard right now in some places to get parents to really invest in their students' education. So that's one big struggle. So that's it.